son today. Stephen, congrats to you. I see you're on the way home from the hospital. You're listening in. Keep your eyes on the road, but congrats to you, and thanks for checking in also. Everybody else, welcome here to the discussion today. I wanted to share with you, as Thomas said, a couple more funnels. One that is in your back office and one that is not, but I thought we'd end this term on a real high note with some of my favorite and best responding funnels, and that's why I wanted to share them with you today. All right, everybody hears me okay, so I can get going? Everybody sees my screen? Awesome, let's go. All right, so today we're going to talk about two funnels in particular. They're both funnels that I have developed, and they're proprietary funnels. And you know, a funnel is a process, and that's the most important thing. After doing this for more than 30 years, what I know separates successful people from others, from people that struggle, is having a process in place, a process to do things. And when you can automate that process, it gets even better. One thing that businesses fail to do a good job with is bringing back past customers to buy from them again and again and again. When you listen to the marketing experts, when you listen to a Dan Kennedy or a Ryan Dykes or even a Steve Rosenbaum, we're going to tell you, and a David Sprague too, by the way. I got to throw David in there, right? We're all going to tell you that the idea to making money is maximizing the revenue per customer or per client or per patient, depending on what type of business you're in. That's the key. The key is getting somebody that buys from you once to come back and buy from you again and again and again and again. Many of you have heard the story of my client Babalu Cigar, how we have more than doubled his business, and that's really the primary thing we focused on. When I first met him, only 1/3 of the people that bought cigars from him ever came back to buy again. And it wasn't because his cigars weren't good, because his cigars are awesome. They're hand-rolled. He's got Cuban-born and trained rollers that work for him here in the States that roll awesome cigars. But because he had no back-end marketing in place, he wasn't getting people to come back and buy cigars again, and that's why he was struggling. Now more than 2/3 of his customers are buying from him 3 or 4 times a year, and that makes a massive, massive difference in the success of a company. So I developed this process called Sales CPR, because what it does is it brings a dead list back to life. When I landed my very, very first 2 clients, it was basically by running a Sales CPR type of strategy. Now, because I was a new business, that might sound kind of odd. I said, you know, I ran a sales CPR on a new business, but what I did was I went back to people I already knew. See, what sales CPR does is it works on the list that you already have instead of relying on new traffic, and that's why it's such a big hit, because you already know these people. And we all know that it's much easier and much less expensive to get somebody to buy from you a second time than it is to get them to become a new customer in the first place. Now, is everybody hearing me okay? I see Terry says that she can't hear me. It looks like she left and is coming back. Okay, everybody else is hearing me? Yes, Chief, says Jay. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's start off with Sales CPR. And what we're going to do here is give you a quick overview what it is. I call it a past client reactivation funnel. Of course, you could substitute the word customer or patient. You could use this for yourself, or you could use this on your own clients, or you could do both. That's what I do. I do both. It's generally a powerful 3-day funnel. It reactivates past clients and gets them to call you back and do more business with you. So what are the objectives? Pretty much summed it up, right? We want to go out and touch base with lost customers, people we already know, people are already on our lists, and we want to invite them to come back and do business with us again. So the process looks like this, and I don't expect you to be able to see that, so what I'm going to do is go over here to my XMind program so I could zoom in on it. By the way, I use this program called XMind for mind mapping, and this is where I lay out all my funnels. You could do it in a flowchart program. You could do it in a mind mapping program like this, and this is just what I happen to use. It's called XMind. So the way this works is this. As I said, it's a 3-day funnel. And what we do is we start off with an incentive. So I'll tell you about the one that we did with a doctor. Speak of the devil, here Chris says he just had a chiropractor appointment and just got back. So I did this with a doctor who happened to be a weight loss doctor, but I also have chiropractors who have shown a lot of interest in this as well. So the doctor was a weight loss doctor. He did things like he had weight loss programs, those HGH programs, and the testosterone for the men and the hormones for the women, and that was the type of services that he provided. So I was speaking with him. I said, "Doctor, let me ask you a question." And his program cost about $800, just shy of $800. And I said, "Let me ask you this. Do you have a list of past customers?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you do with that list?" He says, "Well, they're in constant contact right now, and we send them a newsletter every month." And I said, "How's that going for you?" He said, "I guess it's okay." He says, "I really don't know. We do it. We don't hear anything back about it. I guess the customers like it." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, why don't we take those 14,000 people you've got in constant contact, and why don't we put it on a sales CPR campaign? Because don't you think that if people did a weight loss program with you before, don't you think that maybe some of those people, maybe they put on a little weight, they want to do it again?" He said, "Sure, let's give it a try." So we put together a sales CPR program for his past weight loss customers. And it was a 3-day program, and here's what it sounded like. We said, we send out a message on day 1 that says, "Hey, this is Dr. Martin." That wasn't his real name, but I'll use Dr. Martin. "Hey, this is Dr. Martin. I just wanted to thank you for being a past customer and let you know that if you feel like you need to go on the program again, if you're not satisfied with where you are, you want to lose weight again, we're going to have a special. For the next 3 days only, you can save $200 on your program by coming back again. Please click this link to claim the coupon." And that was it. All right. So the event, the sales CPR, we had the list. The list came from all of his past customers. In this case, he had about 14,000. You don't need 14,000. You could do this with a much smaller list or even a much bigger list. We took that list, we put it into an autoresponder program. Constant Contact doesn't have what we need for it, but you could certainly do this with Prospect Rocket, all right? And when I teach these processes, I'm teaching them to you so that you could use them on Prospect Rocket. And I teach them as processes because people have all sorts of different programs. But what you need to do is you need to be able to build a sequence of messages that go out sequentially, right? That's what a sequence is. So guess what? On day 1, it said, "Hey, for the next 3 days, if you'd like to save $200 on another weight loss program, please go here to claim your coupon." Al's asking if I could send out a PDF of this. Yes, I will get a PDF to Thomas so that he could put it in the back office area. I will do that. All right. And with the PDF, you'll be able to blow it up just like I'm doing here. Let's see. Does that blow it up a little bit? Okay. Now, by the way, you know, when most businesses send out a coupon by email, that's what they do. They just send out a coupon by email, where they send out an offer and they say, "Well, come on in and bring the coupon to get you $200 off." That's not what I wanted to do. I sent them a notice that says, "If you want this, then click on this link and claim your coupon." And they literally had to fill out a form. Now, why was I asking them to do that? Why did I ask them to go through the trouble of clicking on a link and filling out a form in order to claim a coupon? Brad says, "RWA." Yeah, okay. Suzette says it too. Yes, to see who's really interested, right? See, if I send out 14,000 of these things and I'm not putting any sort of a call to action in there besides something like call us or bring it in, then we've got no way of tracking it. But this way, we can literally see the results at every step along the way. So that's what we did. All right. Now, so as you can see here, we've got 4 messages. The messages are almost identical, right? This one says, hey, for 3 days we're having a sale. This one says, hey, for the next, there's 2 days left, come and get it. This one says, tomorrow's the last day. And this one says, last day. By the way, sometimes I think that actually makes it 4 days. Some people do it 3 days. Some days do it 4 days. It's effective either way. All right. So that's what we did. And usually on the last day, I'll do 2 emails. I'll do one in the morning, one at night. And that's what it does. And every email is almost exactly the same. And it has one link, one call to action. That link goes to a landing page where there's a coupon. So if they go here and they claim the coupon, what do you think we do next? Jay, the emails are not included in the PDF, but the emails are included in the back office area. If you got my funnels, I did include Sales CPR with that. And they were Sales CPR emails for your business, not the doctor's emails. Chris says upsell, not a bad idea. Okay, well, the first thing we're going to do, if they claim the coupon, we're going to put them on a reminder sequence, which I'll tell you about in a second. But the first thing we want to do is we want to remove them from the offer sequence. If somebody claims the coupon on day 1, we don't want to be bugging them with these emails on days 2, 3, and 4 because they already did it. So the first thing we did is we removed them from this sequence. Then, of course, we give them the coupon, and we send them an email with the coupon. Now, the next thing we do in Sales CPR that I often do is I send them next, after the coupon, instead of to a thank you page, I send them to an RWA qualifier page, and I think with you I've called it an RWA finder page. And we've covered that in my previous training, so you can go back and watch the videos on that. But what I want to do next is I want to find out if somebody will give us even more information. So I take them to this RWA qualifier page. In the case of the doctor, what I did was I put them into an appointment reminder sequence, okay? Because for the doctor, now that they had the coupon, I wanted to make sure that they called to schedule their appointment. So that's why you do a mind map like this. You think it through because it might be a little bit different for a doctor than it is when you're buying cheeseburgers or anything else. Okay, but you think it through. You say, okay, the person showed interest, they claimed the coupon. Now, if I want to get them in the office, I got to make sure they schedule an appointment. Now, the good news is this. For Dr. Martin, with 14,000 customers, how hard would it be for his office staff to call 14,000 people and see if they wanted to schedule an appointment? Would that be easy or would that be hard? Be horrible, right? Ken says you can't do it. No, of course you can't, right? But now that we've narrowed this down, let's be realistic, okay? There's a couple hundred people that claim the coupons out of the 14,000. And some of them went on to schedule appointments themselves. So let's say half of them did. Now we've got, let's say, 100 people to call. We've got 4 girls in the office. How hard would it be for 4 girls to call 25 people each just to remind them? And they've already shown interest. So now we're just calling to remind them to come and schedule an appointment and come in the office. Yeah, it's easy. Exactly. They could knock that out in a couple hours, which they did. All right. So the second sequence is a reminder sequence. Whether it's a reminder for them to schedule an appointment or a reminder for them to fill out the RWA qualifier. See, some people may have gotten to that page, but they didn't finish. They abandoned the process. So just like in e-commerce, we all know the importance of an abandoned cart sequence. This is essentially the same thing. We focus on the people that abandoned the process, but we've got a different message for them. Okay? The message now is come back and finish the process. That's why we have this second reminder sequence. All right. And then after they go through that step, whether it's an RWA qualifier or they schedule an appointment, Now we take them to a thank you page. And yes, we could upsell them if we want. We could take them to a page that says, hey, your weight loss is going to go a lot better with these supplements. Would you like to get these supplements? All right, so whatever the business is, you could obviously upsell people on the thank you page. Now that would be great. If Sales CPR ended right here, that would be awesome. And it would work extremely well. In fact, it does work extremely well. For this doctor, we generated $22,089 from this 4-day campaign. How's that? How many clients do you think that would be happy with $22,089 in 4 days? Yeah, he was ecstatic. The funny thing was, he actually generated new customers, people he'd never seen before, from a past reactivation campaign. How in the world could that happen? How in the world can that happen that he sends out emails to past customers, and he ended up getting, by the way, 130 new people on his list? How in the world did he get 130 new people on his list by sending out emails to past customers? That's right. People shared. Word of mouth. That wasn't even intended by the program, but it happened. He pays $100 a lead, okay? He pays people for lead generation. He pays $100 per lead because he knows that's how valuable a lead is to him. And that's a normal lead. Imagine, we all know that word of mouth leads are even more valuable. 134 new people times 100, okay? He got $13,000 worth of new leads by running this campaign alone. Totally unintended consequence, but still great, right? That's why we take action. That's why we take imperfect action sometimes, because it always generates results. All right, now, but here's what we do with Sales CPR, which makes us even more powerful. Here's what I found with Sales CPR. You can do it over and over and over again and still get great results. Because two things happen. When you do a Sales CPR campaign, you get some people who go through this and they claim the coupon. And then you get some people that don't go through the process. And frankly, the majority of people don't go through the process. They don't open the emails. They don't click on it for whatever reason. It's not their time. They're not ready, willing, and able. They didn't say no. They just didn't say yes yet. So why not offer it to them again? So what I have built into Sales CPR is a recycle program. And it takes people that were unsuccessful. I'll say unsuccessful first. When I mean unsuccessful, what I mean was they did not participate in Sales CPR. They did not open the emails. They did not claim the coupon. They didn't show interest in it today. So what I'm going to do, 60 days, I'm going to recycle those unsuccessful people. 60 days, I'm going to add them back to the offer sequence. Okay, let me zoom out here so you can see what happens. In 60 days, I take them and I literally put them right back into the offer sequence. And do it again. Now, people that did claim the coupon, I will call them successful. If they claim the coupon, I will call them successful. And I don't want to show it to them again in just 60 days. That's too soon. But I'll wait 6 months. I'll wait 180 days. So here, I separate those people, the people that did do this, the people that came out of here because they went through the process, so they came out here. Now I put them on the recycle in 180 days. I take them and put it back there. Now I've got this infinite process. Customers, businesses that have trouble keeping in touch with customers, and customers fall through the cracks, is because they don't communicate with them. It's because they don't market actively to them. Now we've got this infinite process so that never breaks down. What do you guys think of that? I got to take a sip of water here. Tell me what you think of that. Great stuff. You manually take them out of the sequence if you have many funnels going on. Seems confusing keeping up. So, Marianne, you are correct. All right. If your system won't do it automatically, you've got to do it manually. But it's not hard. It's not hard because your system can identify if people clicked on a link, or you could tag them or whatnot. So it is true, depending on your system, you might have more manual steps, but that's the important thing of a process. Having a process is what makes this work, because what it does is it puts the laws of marketing to your advantage. Okay, we all know the importance of targeting our message, having a message market match. So when you have people that are paying attention to the message, you need to acknowledge to them that you know that they're paying attention to the message, and you need to take them by the hand and lead them by the process, taking them closer and closer to the point of conversion. That's why you have to do it. Barry says, outstanding, thank you. Awesome concept and system, says Boyd. Thank you, my friend. Cool, says Carl. Great plan, says Terry. All right, everybody, I appreciate that. All right, so that's sales CPR. And yes, you have that in, if you bought the funnel kits from me, you do have sales CPR for Prospect Rocket, and it's built using your services. So I wanted to explain that more to you. I will tell you that I think before anything, you should do it for yourself. I think you should take that sales CPR, build out a process for yourself, take every contact that you know. Let me give you some ideas of where to get contacts. If you use Gmail or Yahoo, grab every email address of anybody you've ever communicated with out of there. If you're on LinkedIn, I don't know if you know this, but you can export the email addresses of your contacts out of LinkedIn. Take every business card you have. I've got a business card scanner called a ScanSnap. You've also probably seen those neat scanners, NEAT, that can do like 60 business cards in a second. See, I'll take a stack of business cards and I'll put them through the scanner, and it does OCR, meaning it can read them, and it's pretty good. And it could read like 60 of these in a second. Now, you could go pick up one of those scanners if you want, or there are some services that do this. I think there's a service called Shoebox, if I'm not mistaken. How many of you have stacks of business cards that are not in your system? Let me show you something here. I think it's called Shoebox. Let's see. That's not what I'm looking for. Business card scanning. Scan business cards. There are some apps for it for your phone. I know there's a service, and I thought it was called scanning service. I thought it was called Shoebox. Shoeboxed. There it is, with past tense. Okay. This is a great service, folks. Shoeboxed. By the way, so use it for yourself, or use it for your clients. But you could send to them a stack of business cards. I had one client, didn't have email addresses in his system, but he had invoices, and some of those invoices had emails, and we just got copies of all those emails and sent them to Shoebox, and they entered it and gave it to him in an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, Tom says Evernote can scan into the phone. They can. Yes, they can. All right. So these are some options for you. Now, also, I had for another client who didn't have email addresses, what we did to get started with Sales CPR was we took his past customers, he had mailing addresses for them, and we did a postcard campaign. And we started by sending postcards out to these customers and telling them that we're having a special, and the first step of the special was to go online and opt in so that we could follow up with them from there. It's an added cost, obviously, if you don't have email addresses, but businesses need to have email lists. They really are missing huge opportunities if they don't, so you could help them with that too. All right, let me grab a sip of water here. Go ahead, pass along any feedback, any questions, and we'll get started with our second funnel. Excellent, thank you, I'm glad you like it. All right. So now let's go to funnel number 2. How many people here do speaking events or webinars or anything along those lines? Suzette does, Al does, Patrick, Paul, Bill, excellent. Or workshops, how about workshops? Anybody do workshops? Excellent, a lot of people do. All right, so what I want to share with you here, I call it an event maximizer funnel. An event could be any of those things. It could be a webinar. It could be a speaking engagement, a meetup. It could be a workshop that you're throwing. Okay, the idea here is that you're having an event and you want to maximize the participation of the event. So here's something that I designed, and I'm going to show it. I designed this, and I will zoom in. I designed this for one of my own automated webinar campaigns, but it works for anything. So I want to show you the process behind it. Now, this one is not included. I have not given this in your funnel packet. So take good notes of this one, and I will make a PDF available of this to Thomas to put in the back office. Okay, but this is brand new content that you've never seen before. But I'm sharing with you exactly what's going on behind the scenes of an automated webinar that I've run in the past. So I call it the Event Maximizer Funnel. And let me actually go over here so we could zoom in. Now, here's where a lot of people get it wrong when they do webinars. They have a webinar and they promote it for several days in advance, and they tell all the world, hey, I've got a webinar. And again, I'm going to use the term webinar, but we're talking event. So let's talk about event. We'll call it an event. So they say, hey, we're having an event. Here's the date. Come register. And they just keep sending that message over and over and over and over again. The proper way to do that is to recognize that you've got many different types of contacts going on here. And not only do we need to maximize signups for the event, but we also need to maximize attendance at the event. And then ultimately, we want to maximize conversions that happen after the event. We're selling something. We want people to hire us, whatever the case might be. So that's why we have this in place. So the idea is this. Here is the event right here. Okay, this diamond in the center of the page that says attend event. This is where the event happens. Now, the first thing is we're going to be promoting our event. Now, how do we promote the event? If we have a list, we can send out emails. Okay, this email just says, you know, register 3 days, 2 days, last chance to register, starting in 30 minutes. Okay, so this is typical emails that you'll see for a webinar. If you've got a list, you can do it that way. Let's say you don't have a list, or let's say you want to add to that list. You could do some advertising. You could advertise on Facebook. You could advertise on Google or pay-per-click, or even, you know, postcards and direct mail or magazines or whatever the case might be. Any sort of advertising you're doing, what you want to do is you want to drive them to this registration page. So at the registration page, this is a typical registration page that you're used to seeing. Okay, so I made a little video explaining what the event is, getting people to register. And after they registered, they immediately get a couple emails from me. Now, in this case, I happen to be using two different systems here. I'll tell you that this was built in the Easy Webinar platform. All right, and the Easy Webinar platform has its own email component to it, which helps, but it doesn't do everything that I want it to do. All right, because the Easy Webinar platform will send out a confirmation with your link saying, hey, you're registered for the webinar, and here's your private link. So you need to have that. And then the other thing the Easy Webinar is really good at doing is the email will send out reminders. You can send out a reminder 1 day before the event or 30 minutes before the event. So if you're, in this case, I used Easy Webinar for those events, for those emails that were specific to the event. You know, they had to have that link, and they had to have that email, and because it's an evergreen event, that date could be any time, and and it wasn't like one fixed time on a calendar. But the other thing was I passed it along to my autoresponder, and I happened to use Ontraport because I had a second sequence going on in the background, and it's what I call the anticipation sequence. So the anticipation sequence is this. I want to build up their anticipation for the event. I want to get them excited for the event. So I gave them a couple previews, a couple bonus videos. I gave them a video on day 1 and a video on day 2. And when these emails went out, they drove them to a special landing page that would have those videos. So here's video number 1, here's video number 2, and then I also gave them a handout. Now again, all this is designed to get them very excited about the event. When they start seeing videos, and the videos are going to give them a little bit of information, but it's going to pique their curiosity. The handout is going to show them lots of stuff that's going to be covered there, but it doesn't give them the details. Maybe there's a lot of fill in the blanks and things like that. So can you see how this is building anticipation to improve attendance at the event? So what we need to do is make sure that once somebody comes in and they register for the event, we take them off of this sequence and we put them on these 2 follow-up sequences. And that's what's happening here. Now, just like Sales CPR, what are the other advantages that I'm getting when I get people, when I'm sending them videos beforehand and I'm sending them links to download handouts beforehand? What additional benefits am I getting from that? And it's the same answer that you gave me back at Sales CPR. Exactly right. I'm tracking. I'm finding out who is really engaged. That's exactly right. If you do lead scoring, you can incorporate that. See, every time we ask somebody to take action, when we see those people taking action, they're raising their hand and showing us, yeah, I'm pretty close to RWA. Okay, so here I'm getting some questions. Number 1, somebody's saying, are they generic videos or are they shot by me? In this case, they were shot by me and they were specific. But doesn't mean you can't use generic. If you wanted to, you could. Remember, we're doing a process here, so you can do whatever you want. I do happen to think you're going to get better results using your own original content. Plus, you know, people like video because it builds familiarity. It gets people to know, like, and trust you even before the webinar. That's why I like to speak into the camera, let them see my voice, let them see my funny face, and let them get to know me a little bit before the actual webinar. All right, now the handout, it was the same handout. It was just a reminder to them, hey, if you don't have the handout, go ahead and get it. See, but I tracked all the stats with this, and I was able to tell that, yes, there was a strong correlation from the people that actually watched the videos and downloaded the handouts. There was a much stronger likeliness that they would come to the webinar and ultimately go on to sign up for my Offline Funnel Mastery, which is what this was all about. So it definitely worked, and you could definitely see it in the numbers. All right, now they come to the event. Now let's start tracking their performance at the event. First of all, do they come to the event or not? If yes, they go and log in. If no, then we're going to put them on a sequence about the replay. Okay? So, you know, instead of just sending an email out to everybody saying, hey, here's a replay, we send one out and says, hey, I know you registered for the webinar, you weren't able to make it, here's your link to the replay, which we'll keep up for the next 3 days. And then we'll put them on this sequence here, which is just telling them how long the replay is going to be up. In this case, I said 7 days. Now, if they did come to the event and stay to the end, now my next question is, did they buy or did they not buy? And if they didn't buy, then I take them to this wrap-up page. And the wrap-up page is a summary. Okay? The wrap-up page comes at the end, and it says, thanks for coming, and either coming to the webinar or watching the video. Here are the important points we covered. Here's what the offer is. You've got 3 days to make your decision. Please buy now. And then, of course, I remind them for the next several days, if they don't buy, to come back and buy. All right, so that's the way it works. So the important thing about this is, again, we're marketing at every stage of the event. And this is where events fail, is that there are different steps, and at every step you have drop-off. And you have to address that drop-off or abandonment. Okay, people abandon the process at every single step. So what you need to focus on at each step is taking them by the hand and leading them to the next step. And you have to tailor your messaging and tailor your marketing to where they are in the funnel, and that's how you're going to get more conversions at the end. Right? Make sense? What do you think? I need a sip of water here, man. I'm parched. All right, so Eloise asks, how would this work to invite people to a business expo? Eloise, it's very similar, okay? Instead of a webinar, let's focus on this diamond in the center, and let's say it's a business expo. All right, so I'm going to take this to mean that you're putting on the business expo, and you want to have people attend. Well, the first thing you have to do, Eloise, okay, and this is what I would strongly recommend, is don't just market and ask people to show up at the door, because if you do that, then you can't track their engagement, okay? Instead, tell people that they need to go claim a ticket for the expo, or tell people that you're going to be giving away something, an ebook or something. They need to register it in order to claim it. So start marketing to them and tell them, register for the Business Expo. That's a key thing. Don't just market. We're having an expo on Saturday, August 20th. I don't even know if August 20th is a Saturday, but I'm just throwing that out there. Don't say we're having a business expo on Saturday, August 20th. Come. That's what I call whack-a-mole marketing, where you're just basically hitting people over the head with a sledgehammer with one single message. And all you can do is just pound that message over and over and over again and say, come to the Business Expo, come to the Business Expo. Instead, divide that into steps. Make them register, because now you're building a list of interested people. Whether they come or they don't come, you now have a list of interested people. Now you need to keep them engaged. You need to get them excited about that Business Expo. So maybe what you do, if it's a Business Expo, I assume you're going to have exhibitors there, right? That's what expos are. They've got people that exhibit. Maybe you have videos from a couple of the exhibitors to get people excited. Maybe do a couple webinars with a couple of the exhibitors. Show people some stuff to get them excited. Say, look, this is just a taste of what you're going to see when you come Saturday, August 20th. Put on a couple pre-expo videos or webinars so people can get a taste for it. And what you're going to do is you're going to monitor who goes to those pre-expo events. Now, on the big day, you not only have a list of who actually comes to the expo, but you're also going to have a list of people that registered for the expo and didn't come, watched the videos but didn't come. Now you could follow up with them and say, hey, we're sorry you missed the big expo. It's really a shame because it was an awesome time, but you don't have to leave empty-handed. Here are some of the things that we made available, offers that were made available to the expo attendees, and you still get a chance to participate. How's that sound? Terry says August 20th is a Saturday. Well, that was just a lucky guess. Eloise, did that answer your question? Brilliant. Yes. Thank you, Eloise. I appreciate that. You'll be exhibiting your products. Excellent. Excellent. Well, there you could do it too. Okay, even if you're an exhibitor at the expo, don't be marketing the exhibit itself. Okay, this is great, and actually you're talking about something new and very near and dear to my heart, which is trade shows, because I am a trade show veteran hundreds of trade shows I've done over the years, and most businesses do a very poor job of trade show marketing. Okay, but let's treat this as a trade show for you. Okay, if I understand exactly what's happening now, you're not putting on the expo, you're an exhibitor at the expo. So now what you want to do is you want to take your list of everybody that you have, number one, and you want to let them know, I will be attending the expo. Make sure you come see me. Now give them a reason to come see you. Give them something special. Give them an ebook. Give them information. Back in the days when I did trade shows, I was in the travel business. I was VP of Sales and Marketing for a travel accessories company. And here's some trade show marketing that I did to make sure people came to see us. We targeted 30 retailers across the country that we were not doing business with, but we wanted to. And we went and had made for them nice travel robes, because we are a travel accessory company, so we made for them nice travel robes. We spent a little money on this, okay? But I'm just giving you the idea here. And we took those robes and put them in a nice gift box, but we held back the sash. You know what the sash is, right? The belt that goes around the travel, right? We didn't give them the sash. So all they would get here is a robe that would hang open and not do a very good job, right? So then we put it in a box, and we sent them an email that said, hey, we're going to be exhibiting at the upcoming Travel and Luggage Goods Show, and we want you to have this gift, but come to our booth so you could tie it all together. That was my messaging. The sash was going to tie it all together, the tie that goes around the robe. The robe wouldn't do them much good without the sash. Guess what? Like 25 of those people out of the 30 came to claim their sash. We ended up opening up 4 of the biggest retailers in the country from that trade. That was the best luggage show we'd ever had. We went on to sign up 4 of those big national retailers because of that, because that was the trade show marketing that made sure they actually came into our booth. So there's a couple ideas for you. Excellent, Eloise. You've got some time. So now you can start laying that all out. All right. Constance asking, what kind of information do you put into pre-webinar videos? Constance, you know, it's going to be determined upon you, but here's what it needs to be. Okay, like anything else, you're trying to build excitement. Set expectations, create anticipation. So give them something of value, maybe knowledge, okay, education. I always focus on the 3 E's. Educate, entertain, engage. So give them information, do it in an entertaining way, and engage with them. And then let them know that this is part of what I have to offer. Make sure you come to the webinar so you can get, as Paul Harvey says, the rest of the story. Yes, they want to know what's in it for them. Absolutely. Yes, I'm sure there are lists of trade shows somewhere. All right. Other questions? This is the end of my slide, Thomas. I don't know if there's any questions or if you got anything you want to add.
No, really good stuff, and just thinking about ways that we just introduced webinars and stuff to the group in the last week, and webinar strategies and how to do that. So it fits in really well with that. So any last questions in the chat here, guys? I know we're going a little bit short, but we left some time for any questions you guys might have. This is the last session, like I said, of the series. So if you guys have any questions regarding the process of any of the funnels we've covered, I'm more than happy to answer that. Can we build this out in Boost Webinar? And can we build this out? Oh, use the same question twice. Can we build this out in Boost Webinar? Currently, you can build out most of this in Boost. You could add in definitely the pre-webinar pages. You could build those out as opt-in pages and have your pre-videos there with your handouts and stuff. The difference that we don't have in there yet is the different branches depending on action. So that'll be coming soon. Will he have this as an add-on? This funnel kit isn't for sale or anything yet. We might build it out for you soon. We have a version of something like this inside of Boost Webinars now. If you're doing webinar stuff, but we'll maybe talk to Steve and see if we can flesh out a full funnel of this for the fall sessions. Let's see. Yeah, the PDFs of the completed mind maps will be in Office with this replay. You'll find it in your Genius Mastermind section. There's a funnel and conversion training section that you'll be able to find these. Any suggestions for how to handle the emails when you have a third-party system like Meetup that doesn't give you the email addresses, but I can email through their system? I've never used something like that. Steve, any suggestion there?
Well, a lot of times, if I can, I'll put a call to action. We did this recently for my cigar client because he did an event at his store, and he did it through not Meetup, but that other event, Evently or whatever it's called. Anyways, so if you can, then put a call to action inside the description. Tell people they could claim some sort of a bonus. A bonus could be a discount with a coupon, or it could be, again, information, a PDF, an ebook, something, right? And let them know that if they go here, they can claim their bonus. Because you're right, you can't control the information in Meetup, but if you put that in your description, then at least you might get some people responding there. And then when they go and respond, at least you know where they're coming from and what they're looking for.
Very good. Barry says, where would I find the sales CPR or the CPR sales funnel? For the people asking, a couple of sessions ago, Steve provided a funnel kit to the group. It does come at a cost. It's a one-time cost for you to get access to the funnels. It included the sales CPR. I'm trying to find the link here. Here we go. I'll put it in the chat box for you. So if you go to the localgenius.com/funnel kits, you can pick that up. What that'll do is it gives you I think 6 or 7 different funnels, and it will put that in your back office of Prospect Rocket as well as in the membership site. Yeah, it's set to a yearly cost because we plan on updating it and adding new funnels and stuff. It's $60, I believe. So yeah, if you're looking for that and you want the done-for-you funnel, the thought process of these trainings is we give you the outline of how they work. If you want to build one yourself, the difference with the funnel kits is that it gives it to you done already for the 6 or 7 funnels that are there, and it has all the emails written for you. It does have a copy of the RWA Finder in it as well. The only one that's not in there that we've covered is the Event Maximizer, the one you're looking at right now. That's not in the funnel kits, so you would still need to write the emails and stuff for that. Mind maps available for the funnel kits? No, I don't believe so. We might be able to add that, but everything's in there laid out, and there's instructions on how to build it out. So I don't know that you really need the PDF for that. How do you use these funnels when a client has multiple products or services? Steve, you want to touch on that? Would you build out one of these funnels for each product, or? You can. You can, or you could do it for a special. A lot of times, again, you've heard me bring this back to the cigar company so much because we use these things so much. But a lot of times what we'll do is we'll do an event with this or a sales CPR, but we'll focus on one item and make something that's going to get their attention. When I told you about Dr. Martin had lots of products and services. He did the weight loss, he did the testosterone, he did the hormones for women, he did supplements and nutrition, and he had lots and lots of services, but we only focused that campaign that time on the one, which was the weight loss. So it makes sense
just so you don't confuse the customers, that you focus on one thing. That being said, if you've got a lot of customers, if you want to do something like an across-the-board discount, you can. The idea with sales CPR is you do want to get their attention with some sort of an event, with some sort of a special, a sale, a discount, something of value, and it has to be limited for a certain period of time so that you get people to take action. You use scarcity and you use urgency. Dr. Martin, he paid me a good amount of money for that. I don't want to go into that right here, but I charge a pretty good amount of money to set up my center for businesses.
Really good stuff. All right, guys, the questions are kind of slowing down. We might just let you get out of here early if there's nothing else you guys want to talk about. Or you can throw some last-minute questions in there. But it's been a great session. As always, guys, throw some thank yous in the chat box for Steve for taking his time out to be here. Could you please tell me where to find the funnel kit? I got it and was able to see it first. If you just log into the member.localmarketinggenius site, Eloise, it should be in there. If you can't find it for whatever reason, put in a ticket, and I'll make sure they get you access. Lots of thanks coming into the chat there, Steve, for you. Great stuff, guys. I know that some of this stuff is a little bit confusing, but Steve makes it really, really easy to digest as well as implement. So huge thanks for you. Make sure to get in the Facebook group, guys. Share your takeaways. Make people a little jealous if they weren't able to show up live today. It'll bring people to go watch the replay. You can find the replay of this. It'll be in the membership site on the member.localmarketinggenius site in the Genius archive area. You'll be able to find it there. Once again, guys, thanks so much for being here. If you want the funnel kits, you can find it in your recommended resources section. It's also in the chat box. I will have these PDFs and this replay up at the latest by this time tomorrow. Should be there tonight, though. I should be able to get it there. Any more trainings this week? No, actually. Like I said before, this is the last training for the summer session. So we actually don't have any more trainings this week. No Tuesday Tactical tomorrow, nothing else. But if you join the fall master